This is part 1 of Azure App Service. In this video, I am going to introduce the Azure App Service. As part of prerequisites, you need to have understanding of Azure, what is Azure IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. Also, you need to have some understanding of web applications, REST APIs or mobile applications. Without having knowledge on these two, it will be difficult for you to understand the app service. Um Azure App Service is a very big concept. It will be very difficult to cover in a single video. So, as part of this, I'm going to give you only the introduction of the Azure App Service. So, let us go through some of the features of it. So, Azure App Service is a platform as service used for hosting web applications, REST APIs, and mobile backend services. It supports .NET Core, Java, Ruby, .NET, Node.js, PHP, and Python programming languages. That means the applications that are developed on .NET on these programming languages are supported and can be deployed in Azure App Service. I'm just giving you a few features of the Azure App Service, and going forward, I'm going to create more videos talking in detail about each of these feature. For right now, please try to understand on a high level. So it has very good security features like authentication. It has Facebook authentication, Azure Active Directory authentication, and some other standard authentications are supported. And also you can access restrict the access with respect to the IP addresses. That means you can define the IP range so that the app service that is deployed can be accessed only through that IP range. And also it has auto scaling feature. That means you can instantly scale up and scale down the instances and also the hardware, uh, and automated management, example like automated backups, recovery, etc. supported. It has also DevOps capabilities such as like continuously deploy uh, from Azure DevOps, and it supports GitHub, Docker Hub, and other sources. uh, Staging environment, this is one of the cool feature of app service. That means it has deployment slots, multiple slots. Standard version has multiple slots. uh, let's say example, if you take a production slot and a staging slot, first you deploy your code, the latest updated code to your staging environment, verify it, and then uh, switch the code to the production environment. Doing this, you can minimize the downtime of the application. That means you already deploy the code, verify it, and then you move it to the production slot. So moving to the production slot takes very few minutes. So you don't need to have long downtimes. Within minutes, you can deploy your code to your production using this staging environment feature. Also, custom domains. As you know, you can buy the domains. The app service is a publicly available um, URL. By default, it has a domain, but still, if you want to have your own custom domains, you can still configure the custom domains. You can upload the SSL certificates for HTTPS protocol to have more security, and also you can configure application insights. I'm going to show you all these things in the Azure portal, but in this video, I'm going to explain you only on the high level. And in the next videos, I'm going to talk about each and every topic in detail. Switch to the Azure portal. So here I have few app services created. So I'll take one of the app service that I have already created here. Okay. Uh, don't worry about creating the app service, because right now just understand a few of the things that I'm going to explain here. Because before you create an app service, you need to have knowledge on so many concepts. Okay. So first of all, I was telling about the authentication, right? So authentication. So if you see here. Let me minimize this one as well. So if you see, the app service authentication is off here, but if you switch it on, see, action to take when request is not authorized. By default, allow anonymous request. That means you don't need any authentication. If you with this option, once you deploy any application, it without any proper authentication, the application will be accessible. So now, as I was telling you that app service supports active directory authentication, Facebook authentication, Google authentication, Microsoft account, and Twitter. That means uh, Azure Active Directory is a big concept. Most of you might not be aware of it, but Facebook, Google, Microsoft, I think most of you are aware of it. That means if you have a valid Facebook account, or a Google account, or a Microsoft account, or a Twitter account, you can use those credentials to authenticate before you access the application pages. So let's say example, if you select Facebook authentication, okay, so you have the authentication providers here. So you need to click on the Facebook, and here you have app ID, app secret key. That means Facebook API, once you you need to you need to configure Facebook app there, and you need to get an app ID, app secret key, and then you can set the scope here. If you click on OK, it will work. So again, each and everything is a very big concept. So in next videos I am going to explain, in particular each video I am going to cover how Facebook authentication will work, how Google authentication work, with complete demo. Okay, for right now, as part of this, I was just explaining about the features. So now coming to the auto scaling, let me go back to the app service. So auto scaling, so we have scale up and scale out. What is scale up? So right now I have created my app service, uh, which is in S1 standard tier, pricing tier. Okay, that means it has 100 total ACU and 1.75 GB memory. Okay, so we can scale it down. Like example, this is 2,950 INR per month estimated cost. This is preferred for production environments, but if you are if your application is a dev or test environment, you can use these pricing tiers. F1 is a shared instance, you have just 1 GB memory. So what is automatic scale up is like, with you can just select the pricing tier and apply. Okay, so you can change the pricing tier instantly, so you don't need to it's not a physical machine, right? So you can change the configuration, hardware configuration, in a minutes. And again, coming to the scale out, so you can increase the instance counts. Right now it has one instance, like it is like one CPU. You can have multiple instances. Okay, so it right now I have changed it to 2, and if you click on save, 2 instances gets created. That means if you might be understanding about a load balancing concept, like primary node and secondary node. So right now if your load is more, you can increase the number of instances so that your application performance does not get downgraded. So next feature is DevOps capabilities. So if you see, click on the deployment center. So your source control can be configured here. Okay, so example, Azure repositories, GitHub, Bitbucket, local Git, OnDrive. So you can configure your continuous deployment features. Like once you build is successful, the code can be deployed to the Azure App Service. Custom domain settings. So here, by default,